Hi students, welcome back. Today we are going to solve a simple problem called contains duplicate. So the problem statement says we are given an integer array nums. We have to return true if any value appears at least twice in the array and return false if every element is distinct, which means that if there is any duplicate in the array, we have to return true. Okay. If there are no duplicates, which means all the elements in the array are unique or distinct, we have to return false. Okay. The problem is pretty simple. Let's look at the examples. So in this example, we are given this array 1, 2, 3 and 1. Here if you see, 1 is repeating 2 times. Okay. Which is why we have to return true. Now the second example here, the array is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here there are no repeating numbers, which is why the output is false. Now if we look at the third example, in the first two numbers itself we have a repeating number, which is why the output is true. Okay, so let's look at this with a simple use case. Let's say our given numbers are whatever we had in example 3, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. So one brute force way to find if there are duplicates is we can check one by one if one occurs anytime in the rest of the array. So for each element we will compare with rest of the elements. Okay. So that would be obviously order of n square. Okay. Time complexity is order of n square. Whereas in this case we won't use any space, so it would be order of 1. So this is brute force and obviously it will time out for huge array sizes. Now we have to optimize this. So to optimize it, one way we can think of is, let's say if we sort the array, what happens? Okay. So now if the given array is 1, 2, 3, 4, if we sort it, it would be 1, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in a way, we are grouping similar elements together with sorting. So at any point, if we compare with the next element and see if they are equal, like at every point we'll compare with the next element and see if they are equal. So in the first case itself here we are getting that they are equal. Then that means a repeated element exists. So here the simple technique is, once you sort it, all the similar elements will come together, and if there is a duplicate, the next comparison will return true. That means what we are saying is, given arrays element at I is equal to arrays element at I plus 1 after sorting. We do this from 0 to n minus 1. Okay. Then that means we have a duplicate. So what will be the time complexity for this case? We have to sort. So the best case we can do for sorting is order of n log n. Here again there is no extra space. So space would be order of 1. Okay. Now to optimize this even further, if we use maybe another data structure, that might help us. So if we can, track the elements in a data structure, and every time we see it, if we can check in that data structure whether it already exists or not, that would help us in the figuring out this thing in single traversal. So again our given input is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. So at every point, the moment you hit an element, so there is some data structure which you define, and you will see if this element already exists in that data structure. If it exists, you will just return true. If not, you will continue to the next element. Okay. So what will be the optimal data structure for us? So you have to verify an object exists in this entity or not. Any data structure would work. But what is optimal to do that kind of search? Okay. So if you use an array, the search operation again would be order of n, and your resultant would again become n square. So if you use either a hash map or a hash set, okay, the lookup for an element would be in order of 1, and effectively your algorithm will have a time complexity of order of n. So what we are saying is, for every element n in the given array, okay, we will check if some data set, some hash map dot contains key this element. If it is in the hash map, we just return true. Else we will put in the hash map. Okay, map dot put element and some value. You can put anything here. For now, just let's just put boolean true. The value here doesn't really matter to us. Okay, so this is one way. Since this lookup in the map is order of 1, our overall thing is order of n square. So here uh, figuring out the correct data structure is important. Here instead of map, if you use an array, it will again become order of n square. Okay, so let's write code for this. So we will only implement the third method for this. The rest two you can try and see if you are able to implement it. Okay, so let's go to the LeetCode and write code for it. Okay, so first we need a data structure. So what we decided is we can either use hash map or hash set. I will go with the hash set. Okay, you can use hash map as well. It won't change anything. Okay, so I defined a hash set. So for every integer in the given nums, what I will do is I will add this element to the set. Okay, when adding, set has this property that if it really added the element to the set, it will return false. That means it didn't add anything. So what I'm saying here is, on set add, if nothing got added, that means that element already exists in the set. Okay, then I return true. So nothing got added, meaning that element already exists in the set. So elements in the set are unique by default. So when you try to add a duplicate, it will just return false. So if it returns false, then I am returning true. That is what this means. Okay, otherwise it gets added to the set anyway. Okay, so now if I finish traversing the entire array and I didn't get any false on add, that means every element got added to the set. That means there are no duplicates and I return false. That's all. So what will be the time complexity? Like we discussed, it would be order of n because we are touching every element once. And what would be the space complexity? So the space complexity here also would be order of n because we are defining a set here, and in the worst case, that is when all the elements are unique, it might take complete space. Yeah, that's all we have for today. Hope you understood the problem. Please leave any comment if you have any questions. So keep practicing and happy coding. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.